This is Leadership Plus. I'm Dave Edwards. Remember when you were a kid and you thought it was pretty cool because you thought that your parents had no boss and yet they could tell you exactly what to do? And then, I don't know, maybe you got your very first job at a restaurant and your boss started telling you exactly what to do. And it seemed like everybody was telling you what to do. And you looked around and it just seemed like you were the only one being directed, that your boss didn't have anyone giving them direction. And then something happened. Then you became a manager, you became the boss, and you began to realize that you had to manage up because your boss was demanding accountability of you. If you want to be truly successful as a leader, you realize that as a manager, you have to manage up, you have to manage down, and you have to manage sideways. Managing down is not just about assigning duties. Effective managers know they need to get results from their team members. They do that by clearly explaining the tasks that need to be accomplished and give general direction. If they've hired the right people, managers don't need to micromanage. Instead, the job is to provide feedback and encouragement. It's also your job to praise and reward good work. If mistakes happen, remember that you've made your own, so encourage creative thinking. Now, managing sideways is encouraging cooperation between departments or team members. Sometimes a project requires buy-in from different groups. You might also find some very creative ideas coming from a part of your organization that isn't really assigned to a particular project. Fresh eyes can solve a lot of problems. Communicate widely about important projects. Encourage open dialogue and an exchange of ideas. Now, a lot of times, new managers forget how important it is to manage up. I mean, you think, well, now I'm a manager. I know exactly what I'm doing. But your manager is watching you carefully, and you have to develop a strategy for keeping that person informed as to what's going right and what problems you have. If you don't, it will jeopardize your career. In a 2017 research report, the McKinsey Company reported our findings lend support to the notion that senior executives should pay more attention to mobilizing their bosses, managing upward, and functional colleagues, managing horizontally. Taken together, the report says, these upward and horizontal actions were about 50% more important than managing subordinates for business success, 945% versus 30%, and well over twice as important for career success, 47% versus 19%. McKinsey calls that mobilizing your boss, focusing on strategic issues. Some tips to keep in mind. Communicate about the issues you're dealing with. This could be in a quick email or a brief meeting. Be positive and show that you have a command of the subject while not being afraid to ask for advice. Everyone likes to give advice. Be dependable and honest to a flaw. Now, if your boss gives you something foolish to do or something that you think is just wrong, suck it up, do it. You've been told what to do. You've probably had a chance to explain your point of view, but now the decision has been made. And here's another important thing. If you're doing something that your boss assigned you that you don't agree with, don't complain about it to your employees. Your job is to maintain a positive attitude. After all, isn't that what you want your employees to have? I'm Dave Edwards.